My first experience would be going to Rose Street Baptist Church as a little girl. And I think that's where I started to hear so much about Jesus. And I went on to Brook Street Baptist. Every year we would have a Christmas concert. And every class participated, even the toddlers. We would have singing, skits. We would sing Hark the Herald Angels Sing. And to this day, when I hear that hymn, I still go back to Brook Street. And after every concert, the kids all got a bag of candy.
Oh, yes, always. I remember that in Rose Street Baptist Church, there was a main room that was like the sanctuary. And then there was this little cloakroom, and that was Sunday school. And my Sunday school teacher was Mrs. Dorothy Dalton, whom I loved. She was wonderful. Sunday school was great, as long as nobody in the auditorium needed to use the washroom, because the washroom was located in the basement of the cloakroom. So if somebody had to use the washroom, they had to come into the cloakroom. The children all had to be moved back out of the way. And then the trap door would be lifted. They would go down and they would come back up, and then Sunday school would resume. That's one of my earliest memories of Forward Church. There were so many amazing people to remember.
My early memory goes back to 1963, and the church at that time was located at Brook Street, and it didn't take long for us to come to the decision that Forward was the church that the Lord was guiding and leading us to. Coming from a church back in Scotland, which was a vibrant, active evangelical Baptist church, we were a bit worried about where we might settle. Were advised at the time to look for a church, that had a good weekly prayer meeting and a strong global missionary outlook, and you won't go too far wrong. As it turned out, Forward turned out to be what we were looking for, and that's felt we were just where we had left off. We're just starting anew again.
In 1956, when Dad passed away, Mom didn't drive. And that's when one of our deacons, George Yarrow, came out Sunday morning, picked us up, the four of us, brought us into Sunday school and church, and then drove us back home after church.
I was baptized in the basement of the church at Forward when I was 12, and there was a little platform raised just one little step, and there was this tank there, and I can remember being baptized in that baptismal tank.
I think that I was 11 when Forward had their first missionaries, Jean and Bill, and I think that was an awesome thing. As a 11-year-old girl, I was so excited to think that my church would have 2 missionaries to go to Africa, and they would be seeing all these animals, elephants and lions and tigers, and they were the first ones that, many that Forward supported, and I think that was the beginning of missionaries that Forward really believed in and believed that we needed to support.
Shortly after I came to Forward, we had the privilege of welcoming Ernest Kennedy as our senior pastor. And during his ministry, I think that's where we were certainly encouraged and blessed, just to have such a gifted leader in the church. And it was quite evident that the church was growing. And eventually, by faith, we finally moved out of Brook Street and moved over to a new church in Elgin Street.
Over the years, there's been a lot of good times and a lot of bad times, and a lot of needs for the church, but there's been a lot of wants. I can never remember any need going unattended. God looks after all our needs. Some of our wants, they went by the way, but I can't remember a need that wasn't met, whether it be one of our missionaries or whether it's a furnace that gave out on Brook Street on Sunday morning and it started getting cold, and that had to be repaired. Those needs were met?
Back when I was just new in the church, we had our young married couples group, which was really a great group, you know, because we did some great things together, and it was great fellowship, and it was a lot of fun too.
We really got to know one another.
Well, I think we've always been blessed with the preaching of the gospel, and throughout all the years, our people have remained faithful and generous in the giving of themselves in service. I would also say, you know, we had excellent leadership from deacons and elders, elder boards, and consistent prayer gatherings, and friendly welcome greeters in the church. And the fact that we moved twice to new facilities to accommodate a growing congregation is an indication of growth, and the growth resulting mostly from outreach, not just people coming from other churches.
I think it's awesome that we're coming to our 90th anniversary. That's quite a milestone for a church to complete. But I think as long as we follow the direction of the Lord, as we look for His direction and His guidance day by day, and as long as we follow faithfully, He'll bless us. Yes, and as long as He blesses us, we'll carry on.
I certainly feel honored and privileged to be part of the 90th, and as far as the 100th is concerned, some of us, many will be there, God willing, and some of us won't be.